From February 23 to April 2, 2026, Mars moves through Aquarius, creating one of the most intense and dynamic periods of the year. This is not an ordinary Mars transit. Mars remains aligned with Rahu throughout its stay in Aquarius, and in the early phase it also shares space with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus. All of this unfolds during eclipse season, shortly after the solar eclipse of February 17th, and just before the lunar eclipse of March 3rd. It is essential to note that these interpretations are based on Sidereal or Vedic astrology, which accounts for the approximately 24-degree difference with the tropical zodiac. When so many strong planetary forces concentrate in one sign, the energy becomes powerful, restless, and highly eventful. This is a period that demands awareness and conscious action. Mars represents willpower, courage, aggression, drive, physical energy, competition, brothers, athletes, engineers, and real estate. It is the planet of action. Aquarius represents innovation, technology, social systems, reform, humanitarian work, and collective thinking. It is a future-oriented sign concerned with progress and societal change. When Mars enters Aquarius, action becomes intellectual and reformist. Energy moves toward ideas, systems, and innovation rather than purely personal ambition. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and Mars and Saturn do not operate comfortably together. Mars seeks immediate results. Saturn works slowly and methodically. This creates friction. Efforts may need to be repeated. Progress may feel delayed. Achievements will come, but only through persistence and discipline. The most significant feature of this transit is the conjunction of Mars and Rahu. Rahu amplifies and exaggerates the planet it conjunct. When combined with Mars, the result is explosive energy. This alignment can produce remarkable courage, bold initiatives, and the ability to break barriers. It can also bring impulsiveness, anger, risk-taking, and volatile reactions. If Mars is strong and well placed in the birth chart, this period can support daring breakthroughs, entrepreneurial moves, technological ventures, and fearless decisions. If Mars is weak or afflicted, impatience, conflicts, and accidents may increase. Rahu magnifies both strength and weakness. It expands whatever is already present. In the early phase of this transit, Mercury is also in Aquarius and turns retrograde on February 26th before going direct on March 21st. Mercury governs communication, speech, logic, and technology. Mars and Mercury do not cooperate easily. Their combination can create sharp speech, blunt communication, and heated arguments. During Mercury retrograde, misunderstandings can increase. Technical glitches, digital confusion, and misinterpretation in messages may surface. At the same time, this alignment can enhance technical skill, strategic thinking, and analytical intelligence. Aquarius supports digital industries, innovation, and advanced research. This period can favor work in information technology, artificial intelligence, data science, engineering, and online businesses. The key lies in controlling tone and avoiding reactive communication. The presence of the Sun during the early phase adds intensity. Mars and the Sun together strengthen confidence and leadership, but Rahu's influence can distort perception. Confidence can swing between bold clarity and exaggerated ego. Authority conflicts may arise, especially in professional environments. Matters related to career, government, leadership, or father figures require patience and balance. Acting from pride rather than clarity can create unnecessary friction. Venus also moves through Aquarius during part of this period. When Venus comes under the influence of Mars and Rahu, desire intensifies. Attraction can become magnetic and passionate. Creativity can surge. There may be strong ambition for wealth, comfort, and recognition. This combination can also create possessiveness and emotional extremes in relationships. Financially, risk-taking tendencies may increase. Innovative sources of income may emerge, especially through digital platforms or unconventional ventures, but reckless speculation should be avoided. Jupiter's aspect from Gemini provides a protective influence. Until March 11th, Jupiter remains retrograde, encouraging review and reflection. When it turns direct, clarity improves. Jupiter brings wisdom and ethical grounding. Its influence can moderate excess and guide decisions toward long-term growth rather than short-term impulse. Mars in Aquarius also casts strong aspects to other signs. Its influence extends toward Taurus, Leo, and Virgo, increasing pressure in areas connected to stability, recognition, and health. When multiple strong planets influence related areas at the same time, tension rises. This is not a period for careless decisions. It is a time for structured effort and controlled action. On a collective level, this transit can bring technological breakthroughs alongside sudden disruptions. Aquarius governs aviation, networks, innovation, and social movements. Mars and Rahu together can spark activism, ideological debates, and intense public reactions. Advances in technology may move quickly, but so can conflicts related to ideology or systems. The deeper lesson of this transit is conscious action. Mars provides raw force. Aquarius directs that force toward collective purpose. Rahu magnifies desire. Saturn demands accountability. When action is aligned with discipline and service, this period can produce remarkable achievements. When action is driven by ego or impatience, it can create unnecessary turbulence. This is a powerful window for focused work, entrepreneurship, research, technological growth, and service-oriented initiatives. It favors those who channel ambition into structured effort. It challenges those who act without reflection. Mars in Aquarius during eclipse season is intense, but intensity does not automatically mean negativity. It means energy is high. Outcomes depend on direction. With patience, maturity, and disciplined courage, this period can become a time of bold progress and meaningful transformation. It's crucial to perceive Mars as the planet of action. Wherever it transits in the chart or during transit, it ignites activity in matters associated with that specific house. If Mars is well positioned in the chart and during transit, it also takes on the role of a defender or protector, safeguarding the affairs related to the house it influences. To accurately assess the impact of these transits, it is crucial to consider your ascendant and moon signs. The ascendant sign offers insights into the timing of life events, while the moon sign reveals how you will emotionally respond to these changes. Take into account the position of your current Mahadasha Lord in your birth chart, as it can shed light on how these transits will influence the recurring themes of your current dasha period. This transit may manifest differently for each individual, and how they navigate this transit will depend on their personal charts. A more precise understanding of the impact of this transit can be gained by examining Mars's Ashtaka score in Aquarius. Keep in mind that the effects of this transit are contingent on Mars's interaction with the planets in individual birth charts. It's also worth noting that individuals currently experiencing the influence of Mars Dasha may feel the effects of this transit more intensely. To understand how this transit may affect you based on your zodiac sign and the houses it transits, let's delve into those specifics. For Aries, this is a highly significant transit because Mars is your ruling planet. It governs your first house of self, personality, physical body, confidence, and direction in life, and it also rules your 8th house of transformation, sudden events, hidden fears, vulnerability, joint finances, and deep psychological change. When your first house lord moves, you feel it directly. Mars transits Aquarius, your 11th house of gains, income, networks, elder siblings, social circles, ambitions, and fulfillment of desires. This immediately activates a powerful desire to move forward, achieve more, and expand your reach in the world. The 11th house is an Upachaya house, meaning it improves with effort over time. Mars in the 11th makes you actively pursue your highest goals. You will not sit quietly waiting for opportunities. You will chase them. There is a strong drive to increase income, build networks, and align with influential people. Professional circles become very important. You may feel the urge to step into leadership roles within groups, organizations, or communities. Your ambitions become louder and more visible. Mars is not alone. Rahu is already in Aquarius, and Mars will conjoin Rahu throughout this transit. Rahu amplifies desire. For Aries individuals, this can create intense hunger for success, recognition, and financial growth. You may feel that this is the time to push harder than ever. Big goals may suddenly feel achievable. At the same time, Rahu can create obsession. There may be impatience regarding results. You may want rapid expansion, quick gains, and immediate validation. If handled wisely, this can bring bold breakthroughs. Because Mars also rules your 8th house, sudden gains and sudden expenses are both possible. Money can come in strongly, especially through networking, commissions, partnerships, or collaborative ventures. At the same time, expenses may rise quickly. Gains may flow in, but they can also go out just as fast if spending is driven by impulse or ego. This is not a stable financial phase unless you consciously create structure. Rahu's involvement increases volatility, so speculation should be handled with caution. Your relationship with elder siblings or senior figures in your network may experience tension. Mars in the 11th can create dominance issues. You may feel the need to assert control in group dynamics. Arguments within teams or social circles are possible, especially if others challenge your authority. Since this transit occurs during eclipse season, emotions can run high. Ego clashes can arise unexpectedly. It is important to remain grounded and avoid reacting from pride. The conjunction with the Sun in the early phase intensifies this dynamic. The Sun rules your 5th house of intelligence, creativity, children, and speculative ventures. When Sun joins Mars and Rahu in the 11th house, your creative ambitions expand. You may want recognition for your ideas. You may seek visibility in public platforms or social media. The combination can also inflate ego. Authority struggles within professional or social environments are possible. Be mindful of how you present yourself. Strong confidence is beneficial, but overconfidence can damage relationships. Mercury's presence and its retrograde phase add another layer. Mercury rules your 3rd and 6th houses, which govern communication, efforts, competition, conflicts, and health routines. During Mercury retrograde, misunderstandings in professional communication are likely. Misinterpretation of emails, agreements, or financial discussions can occur. Since Mercury and Mars are natural enemies, speech may become sharp. You may speak bluntly without intending harm. This can create friction within teams or friendships. This same combination can also sharpen strategic thinking and competitive spirit. You may outperform rivals through bold planning and direct execution. Venus joining this cluster influences finances and relationships further. Venus rules your 2nd and 7th houses, both connected to wealth and partnerships. When Venus comes under the influence of Mars and Rahu in your 11th house, desire for luxury and higher earnings increases. You may actively pursue financial growth for the sake of comfort and status. Romantic relationships may mix with professional or social networks. Attraction can develop within friend circles. Emotional intensity may rise. Possessiveness or jealousy can create complications in love life, especially if ego is involved. Mars's aspects are equally important. From Aquarius, Mars casts its 4th aspect on Taurus, your 2nd house of family and accumulated wealth. Saturn is already aspecting Taurus from Pisces. This creates a Mars-Saturn tension over finances and family responsibilities. You may feel compelled to take control of financial matters, restructure savings, or assert authority in family decisions. Progress will require patience. Saturn demands disciplined budgeting and long-term planning. Impulsive financial moves may face delays or obstacles. The 7th aspect of Mars from Aquarius falls on Leo, your 5th house, where Ketu is transiting. This brings intensity to matters related to children, romance, creativity, and speculative investments. There may be detachment in romantic relationships or confusion about emotional direction. If you are involved in speculative trading or risky investments, caution is essential. Emotional reactions can lead to financial mistakes. If you have children, be mindful of conflicts or misunderstandings. Mars's 8th aspect falls on Virgo, your 6th house of health, competition, debts, and disputes. Saturn is also aspecting Virgo from Pisces, doubling the pressure. This can bring competitive success if you are disciplined, but it can also create stress, legal disputes, or health concerns if you ignore warning signs. Overwork is a real possibility. Since Mars rules your physical vitality, pushing your limits without rest may affect health. Exercise is beneficial, but reckless exertion should be avoided. Because this transit occurs during eclipse season, its effects become more intense. Eclipses activate karmic turning points. For Aries individuals, this period may bring realization about who truly belongs in your circle and which ambitions are worth pursuing. Some friendships may transform or end. Some networks may expand dramatically. This is a period of filtering your social environment. Overall, this transit pushes you toward ambition and expansion. You are driven to achieve, to grow, and to make a visible mark. The 11th house rewards effort, and Mars gives you the courage to chase goals aggressively. Yet the presence of Rahu and multiple planetary influences makes this a high-voltage period. Success is possible, but it demands maturity, controlled speech, financial discipline, and emotional awareness. For Taurus, Mars rules your 7th house of marriage, partnerships, public dealings, and business alliances, and it also rules your 12th house of foreign connections, expenses, isolation, losses, and spiritual withdrawal. Mars moves into Aquarius, your 10th house of career, reputation, authority, responsibility, and public image. Whenever the 10th house is activated by a strong planet like Mars, life becomes action-oriented and outwardly focused. You are seen, evaluated, and judged by your performance. This is a career-driven phase. You may feel unusually ambitious and determined to achieve something substantial in your professional life. Mars in the 10th house energizes work matters. It can bring a new job opportunity, a promotion, a change in role, or a major project that demands leadership. You may step forward to take control in your workplace. Others may see you as decisive and action-oriented. At the same time, Mars is a naturally aggressive planet. It does not tolerate inefficiency. If colleagues or subordinates are not aligned with your pace, friction can arise. The complexity increases because Mars is not alone in Aquarius. Rahu is already there, and Mars remains closely conjoined with Rahu throughout this transit. Rahu amplifies desire and ambition. For Taurus individuals, this can create intense hunger for professional growth. You may feel that you must rise in status or prove your authority. Rahu in the 10th can bring sudden visibility, unusual opportunities, or involvement in innovative or technology-related fields. It can also create a restless desire for recognition. You may want rapid progress and immediate results. When ambition becomes excessive, power struggles can emerge. You may clash with bosses or authority figures, especially if you feel undervalued. The 10th house also represents your relationship with government, senior officials, and management. Mars and Rahu together can create dominance issues. If handled wisely, this gives strong leadership and fearless execution. If handled impulsively, it can damage professional relationships. Mars ruling your 7th house means that partnerships are directly connected to career developments during this period. Business partnerships may become highly active. You may collaborate with dynamic individuals or deal with assertive clients. If tensions rise at work, those same tensions can spill over into marriage or close relationships. Your spouse or partner may feel that you are overly focused on career. Communication must remain balanced to avoid misunderstandings. Since Mars also rules your 12th house, expenses connected to career are possible. You may invest in professional tools, travel for work, or spend on expansion plans. Foreign connections may become important. There is potential for work related to international clients or multinational organizations. At the same time, Rahu's influence can increase financial volatility. Gains may rise, but expenses may rise as well. Careful budgeting is necessary. The early phase of this transit includes the Sun in Aquarius. The Sun rules your 4th house of home, emotional stability, property, and mother. When the Sun joins Mars and Rahu in your 10th house, professional ambition may overshadow domestic life. You may feel torn between home responsibilities and career demands. Ego clashes with authority figures are possible, especially if you feel that your contributions are not recognized. Maintaining humility while asserting your position will be important. Mercury's presence and its retrograde phase further intensify professional communication. Mercury rules your 2nd and 5th houses, which govern speech, finances, intelligence, children, and creativity. During Mercury retrograde, miscommunication at the workplace is possible. Emails, contracts, negotiations, and presentations require careful review. Mars combined with retrograde Mercury can make speech blunt or reactive. Words spoken in anger may create lasting impressions. At the same time, this combination enhances strategic thinking and analytical skill, especially in competitive environments. Venus, your 1st house lord, also moves into Aquarius during this period. This is significant because Venus represents your personality, physical vitality, and overall direction in life. When Venus comes under the influence of Mars and Rahu in the 10th house, your public image becomes highly noticeable. You may appear charismatic and ambitious. This also makes you sensitive to criticism. Relationships in the workplace may become emotionally charged. Mars's aspects create additional pressure. From Aquarius, Mars casts its 4th aspect onto Taurus, your 1st house. Saturn is already aspecting Taurus from Pisces. This creates a direct Mars-Saturn tension on your identity and physical well-being. You may feel compelled to assert yourself strongly. You may want to take control of situations and shape outcomes personally. Saturn's influence demands patience and discipline. If you push too aggressively, resistance may increase. Health must not be ignored. Overwork and stress can affect energy levels. The 7th aspect of Mars falls on Leo, your 4th house, where Ketu is transiting. This brings intensity to domestic matters. There may be emotional detachment at home or restlessness regarding property decisions. If career pressures rise, home life may feel unsettled. Conflicts with family members can arise if work demands dominate your attention. Mars's 8th aspect falls on Virgo, your 5th house, and Saturn is also aspecting Virgo from Pisces. This double pressure can create stress in matters related to children, romance, and creative pursuits. If you are involved in speculative investments, caution is advised. Risk-taking tendencies may increase due to Rahu's influence in your 10th house. Romantic relationships may experience tension if ego or dominance issues arise. This entire transit unfolds during eclipse season, which amplifies karmic turning points. Eclipses often bring clarity through disruption. For Taurus individuals, this may mark a decisive phase in career direction. You may realize what kind of professional path truly aligns with your values. Some may change jobs. Others may step into greater responsibility. Some may confront authority and redefine their role. Health requires attention during this period. Mars and Rahu together can increase stress and impatience. Sleep patterns may be disturbed due to 12th house involvement. Regular exercise and structured routines will help stabilize energy. Avoid unnecessary confrontations and impulsive decisions. Overall, this is a powerful career-oriented transit. It charges you with ambition and pushes you into the spotlight. It can bring recognition, leadership, and professional advancement. At the same time, it tests your ability to manage ego, partnerships, and personal balance. Success during this period depends on disciplined action, respectful communication, and strategic planning. If you channel this intense energy wisely, you can achieve significant professional growth while maintaining stability in personal life. For Gemini, Mars rules your 6th house of competition, conflicts, health, discipline, and daily work routines, along with your 11th house of gains, income, networks, ambitions, and fulfillment of desires. When Mars moves into Aquarius, it activates your 9th house of higher education, long-distance travel, belief systems, dharma, teachers, father figures, and fortune. This creates a powerful shift in focus from routine struggles toward higher purpose, ideology, and expansion of worldview. The 9th house represents your philosophy of life. It shows how you interpret truth, religion, spirituality, ethics, and long-term direction. When Mars enters this house, your beliefs become energized. You may feel an intense desire to pursue higher education, certifications, or advanced knowledge. There is courage to question old philosophies and explore new intellectual territories. Some Geminis may take bold steps towards studying abroad or traveling to distant places for academic or spiritual reasons. Mars provides determination. It pushes you to act rather than merely think. Mars is not a gentle planet. It is forceful and direct. When it activates the 9th house, your approach to religion or philosophy can become rigid or overly assertive. You may defend your beliefs strongly. Debates can intensify. There is a possibility of becoming uncompromising in ideological matters. Since Mars also rules your 6th house of disputes, intellectual arguments may escalate into conflicts, especially with mentors, professors, or senior advisors. You may challenge authority figures more openly than usual. The presence of Rahu in Aquarius intensifies this dynamic. Rahu expands ambition and unconventional thinking. In the 9th house, it can create fascination with unusual belief systems, foreign cultures, or unconventional spiritual practices. When Mars joins Rahu, your desire to redefine your philosophical identity becomes strong. You may reject traditional frameworks and pursue something entirely different. This can be liberating if approached thoughtfully. If handled impulsively, it can create confusion or conflict with elders and teachers. Since Mars also rules your 11th house, the transit connects gains and networks with higher education and foreign matters. Professional associations abroad or connections with international groups may increase. Long-distance travel may bring financial opportunity. Income through consulting, teaching, publishing, or digital platforms targeting global audiences is possible. Because Rahu amplifies volatility, Gains may come with unpredictability. Promises of expansion must be evaluated carefully. The Sun joins this conjunction during the early phase. The Sun rules your third house of communication, courage, media, writing, and short travels. With Sun, Mars, and Rahu in your ninth house, your voice becomes bold and expressive. You may publish opinions, speak publicly, or take strong positions in intellectual discussions. Ego clashes with mentors or authority figures are possible. The Sun in the ninth increases pride and personal beliefs. If humility is not maintained, misunderstandings may arise with father figures or spiritual guides. Mercury, your first house lord, also moves through Aquarius and turns retrograde during this period. This is highly significant for Gemini individuals. When your ruling planet is retrograde in the ninth house, you are re-evaluating your worldview. Old belief systems may be questioned. Travel plans may face revisions. Academic projects may require review. Mars combined with retrograde Mercury can create sharp speech and argumentative tendencies. Be cautious while expressing strong opinions. Words spoken impulsively can create lasting tension. At the same time, this combination enhances analytical ability. You may research deeply, challenge conventional knowledge, and explore technical or scientific dimensions of philosophy. Aquarius supports innovation and futuristic thinking. This is an excellent period for intellectual courage, especially in fields involving technology, law, social reform, or advanced studies. Venus rules your 5th and 12th houses, connecting creativity, romance, spiritual retreat, and foreign lands. With Venus in the 9th house under Mars and Rahu's influence, you may develop attraction towards someone from a different culture or belief background. Romantic connections through travel or education are possible. Creative inspiration may be drawn from foreign influences. Emotional intensity may rise. Differences in values can create friction in relationships. Mars's aspects add further complexity. From Aquarius, Mars casts its 4th aspect on Taurus, your 12th house. Saturn is already aspecting Taurus from Pisces. This creates a Mars-Saturn tension involving expenses, foreign settlements, isolation, and mental rest. You may feel compelled to take control of financial outflows or foreign matters. Delays and obstacles may slow progress. Sleep patterns could be disturbed due to overthinking or travel-related stress. Managing rest and mental balance becomes essential. The 7th aspect of Mars falls on Leo, your 3rd house, where Ketu is transiting. Communication may become intense and detached at the same time. You may speak forcefully yet feel misunderstood. Sibling relationships could experience tension. Short travels may involve delays or unexpected complications. Since the 3rd house governs courage, you may feel bold but slightly disconnected from emotional support systems. Mars's 8th aspect falls on Virgo, your 4th house, and Saturn is also aspecting Virgo from Pisces. This double pressure can create stress in domestic life. Emotional restlessness may increase. You may feel unsettled about property matters or responsibilities toward mother and home. Work or travel commitments may take you away from domestic comfort. Maintaining harmony at home requires patience. Because this transit unfolds during eclipse season, its intensity increases. Eclipses bring karmic turning points. For Gemini individuals, this may represent a shift in long-term direction. You may redefine what success means. You may realize that certain beliefs no longer serve you. Some may take bold decisions regarding higher studies or relocation. Health must not be ignored. Mars ruling your 6th house can increase physical exertion, but it can also trigger inflammation or stress-related issues if you overextend yourself. Travel safety requires attention. Legal matters should be handled carefully, especially if international issues are involved. Overall, this is a courageous and transformative transit for Gemini individuals. It pushes you beyond comfort zones and challenges your belief systems. It encourages intellectual bravery and global expansion. Yet it demands humility, disciplined communication, and emotional balance. If you channel this energy into structured learning and purposeful travel, it can open powerful new horizons. If ego and impatience dominate, conflicts with mentors or authority figures may arise. This period invites you to act boldly, but wisely, in shaping your higher path. For Cancer, Mars rules your 5th house of intelligence, creativity, children, romance, speculation, and past life merit, and it also rules your 10th house of career, authority, public image, and responsibility. When Mars changes signs, it directly influences both your professional direction and your creative and emotional expression. Mars transits Aquarius, your 8th house. This is one of the most intense and transformative houses of the horoscope, and whenever the 8th house is activated, life moves into deeper, hidden, and sometimes uncomfortable territory. The 8th house represents sudden events, transformations, joint finances, inheritance, secrets, psychological depth, research, occult knowledge, and themes connected to endings and rebirth. When your 10th lord enters the 8th house, professional matters can go through a phase of restructuring. There may be sudden changes in career direction, unexpected developments at the workplace, or shifts in authority dynamics. Some Cancer individuals may experience a sudden project ending, a role transformation, or a change in management. Others may become deeply involved in research-oriented, investigative, or confidential professional tasks. Mars in the 8th house demands caution. Regardless of how strong Mars is in your birth chart, this is a period when you must be careful about accidents, injuries, and impulsive actions. The 8th house is associated with vulnerability and unpredictability. Rash decisions or physical risks should be avoided. Driving carefully, handling machinery responsibly, and maintaining awareness in high-risk environments are essential during this time. At the same time, this transit can make you extremely determined and courageous. The 8th house is not only about crisis. It is also about inner strength. Mars here can give the courage to face fears that have been buried for a long time. You may feel compelled to confront unresolved emotional patterns, financial complexities, or psychological blocks. This is an excellent time for deep research, occult studies, astrology, psychology, healing work, or any subject that requires intense concentration and investigation. There may be a fascination with themes of life, death, and rebirth, not necessarily in a literal sense, but as metaphors for transformation. The intensity increases because Mars is conjoining Rahu throughout this transit. Rahu magnifies whatever it touches. In the 8th house, this can create sudden events, unexpected revelations, or hidden truths coming to light. Financial matters related to joint resources, loans, taxes, or inheritance may demand attention. There may be volatility in shared finances. Rahu can create anxiety or obsession regarding security. It is important to remain practical and avoid speculative or risky financial decisions. The Sun joins this conjunction during the early phase, and since the Sun rules your 2nd house of family, speech, and accumulated wealth, financial and family matters become intertwined with 8th house themes. There may be discussions about shared assets, family property, or long-term investments. Ego clashes within the family are possible, especially if financial transparency is lacking. Speaking harshly during tense moments can create lasting emotional impact. Mercury's presence and retrograde motion add another layer. Mercury rules your 3rd and 12th houses, governing communication, siblings, effort, foreign connections, and subconscious patterns. When Mercury retrogrades in your 8th house alongside Mars and Rahu, misunderstandings can arise in sensitive matters. Confidential information must be handled carefully. Documents related to taxes, insurance, loans, or joint finances should be reviewed thoroughly. This period may bring back old financial issues that need resolution. Venus also enters Aquarius during this period. Venus rules your 4th and 11th houses, connecting home, emotional security, property, income, and social networks to 8th house transformation. There may be changes related to property ownership or financial planning within the family. Emotional intensity in friendships or social circles may surface. Romantic relationships may experience deep conversations about commitment, trust, or shared responsibilities. Passion can intensify, but so can possessiveness. Mars's aspects create additional pressure points. From Aquarius, Mars casts its 4th aspect on Taurus, your 11th house of gains and networks. Saturn is already aspecting Taurus from Pisces. This creates a Mars-Saturn tussle in matters of income and long-term ambitions. You may feel driven to take control of financial goals or social circles. Progress may require sustained effort and patience. Gains may come through hard work rather than quick results. The 7th aspect of Mars falls on Leo, your 2nd house, where Ketu is transiting. This can create instability in family communication and financial stability. There may be detachment or confusion regarding financial planning. Be cautious with speech. Words spoken impulsively may hurt family members. Budgeting must be handled carefully, especially with 8th house volatility already active. Mars's 8th aspect falls on Virgo, your 3rd house, and Saturn is also aspecting Virgo from Pisces. This can create tension with siblings or in communication-related projects. Short travels may require caution. Overthinking and perfectionist tendencies may lead to unnecessary stress. This aspect can also give powerful determination in writing, research, or investigative communication. Because this transit occurs during eclipse season, its transformative quality becomes stronger. Eclipses activate karmic turning points. For Cancer individuals, this may represent a deep internal shift rather than an external visible event. You may realize what needs to be released in order to move forward. Old emotional attachments, financial patterns, or professional structures may no longer serve you. Health must be taken seriously. The 8th house relates to chronic issues and hidden conditions. Regular checkups and stress management are important. Mars combined with Rahu can increase anxiety or restlessness. Physical exercise is beneficial, but extreme or risky activities should be avoided. Overall, this is a powerful and intense transit for Cancer individuals. It is not a light or superficial period. It demands courage, patience, and self-awareness. While there may be sudden developments or emotional intensity, there is also immense potential for transformation and empowerment. If you use this period to confront fears, reorganize finances, and deepen your understanding of yourself, it can become a time of inner rebirth. If you react impulsively or ignore warning signs, stress may increase. This transit teaches strength through transformation and wisdom through experience. For Leo, Mars rules your 4th house of home, emotional security, property, and inner peace, as well as your 9th house of fortune, higher wisdom, father figures, long-distance travel, and dharma. When Mars changes signs, it influences both your foundation and your destiny. From February 23 to April 2, 2026, Mars transits Aquarius, your 7th house of marriage, partnerships, public interactions, business alliances, and open opponents. This is a highly relationship-oriented transit, and it directly affects how you deal with other people. The 7th house represents not only marriage but also all significant one-to-one interactions. When Mars enters this house, action is taken in relationships. There is movement, intensity, and sometimes confrontation. If Mars is strong and well placed in your birth chart, you may become protective and supportive toward your spouse or business partner. You may stand up for your relationship, defend it against external pressures, and actively work to strengthen it. There can be renewed passion and determination to resolve long-standing issues. Mars is a fiery planet, and in the 7th house it can also create dominance tendencies. If not handled carefully, you may try to impose your views on your partner. Arguments can arise over control, independence, or decision-making. The way you treat your spouse often reflects how you treat other people during this period. If impatience increases at home, it may also show up in professional collaborations. Awareness and restraint are essential. The intensity of this transit increases significantly because Mars is conjoining Rahu in Aquarius throughout this period. Rahu amplifies desire, ambition, and restlessness. In the 7th house, this can create strong attraction and magnetism in relationships, but it can also produce unpredictability. You may feel an intense need for attention or validation from your partner. If expectations are not met, frustration can surface quickly. New relationships formed during this time may feel exciting and unconventional, but they may also carry instability. For married Leo individuals, this period demands maturity. Rahu and Mars together can create misunderstandings fueled by ego. Since Leo is naturally proud and expressive, the presence of Ketu in your sign during this time adds another layer. Ketu in the 1st house can make you introspective or detached, while Mars and Rahu in the 7th house demand attention toward the partner. This axis creates tension between self-focus and relationship focus. You may feel misunderstood or emotionally distant while simultaneously expecting strong engagement from others. Mars ruling your 9th house brings themes of belief systems and principles into your partnerships. Differences in ideology or long-term goals may become visible. You may debate philosophical views with your spouse or partner. If you handle these discussions with respect, they can strengthen understanding. If handled with rigidity, they can create distance. Since Mars also rules your 4th house, domestic matters and property decisions may become intertwined with marital discussions. The early phase of this transit includes the Sun in Aquarius. The Sun is your ruling planet. When your 1st house lord joins Mars and Rahu in the 7th house, relationships become central to your identity during this period. You may feel that your public image and self-worth are tied to how your partnership functions. Ego clashes are possible, especially if you feel unappreciated. Authority struggles can arise not only in marriage but also in business alliances. Mercury's presence and retrograde phase add complexity. Mercury rules your 2nd and 11th houses, which govern speech, family values, finances, income, and networks. During Mercury retrograde in the 7th house, misunderstandings and agreements are possible. Contracts and financial partnerships require careful review. Speech must be measured. Mars combined with retrograde Mercury can create sharp words spoken in anger. Be mindful of tone, especially during disagreements. Venus also joins this planetary cluster. Venus rules your 3rd and 10th houses, connecting communication and career to your partnerships. Romantic attraction can intensify. Business collaborations may expand. Emotional sensitivity increases as well. If career pressures are high, tension may spill into personal life. Maintaining balance between professional ambition and marital harmony becomes essential. Mars's aspects further activate other sensitive areas. From Aquarius, Mars casts its 4th aspect on Taurus, your 10th house of career. Saturn is already aspecting Taurus from Pisces. This creates a Mars-Saturn dynamic in professional matters. You may feel compelled to take control at work. Leadership responsibilities may increase. Saturn demands patience and discipline. Professional success during this time requires steady effort rather than aggressive confrontation. The 7th aspect of Mars falls on Leo, your 1st house, where Ketu is transiting. This creates direct pressure on your physical vitality and self-expression. You may feel restless, impatient, or internally unsettled. Health should not be neglected. Emotional detachment from self-care can create imbalance. Practice grounding techniques and maintain physical routines. Mars's 8th aspect falls on Virgo, your 2nd house, and Saturn is also aspecting Virgo from Pisces. This can create financial stress or tension within family communication. Budgeting requires discipline. Harsh speech may create misunderstandings within the family. Avoid impulsive spending, especially during emotional moments. Because this transit unfolds during eclipse season, its karmic intensity increases. Eclipses bring turning points in relationships. For some Leo individuals, this period may mark a new chapter in marriage. For others, it may highlight unresolved issues that demand attention. Partnerships formed or challenged during this time may have long-term significance. Health requires awareness. Mars and Rahu together can increase stress levels and create irritability. Avoid unnecessary confrontations. Channel energy into constructive dialogue, exercise, and disciplined action. Overall, this is a relationship-defining period for Leo individuals. It activates marriage, partnerships, public interactions, and career simultaneously. It can bring passion, progress, and powerful alliances. It can also bring ego clashes and dominance struggles if not handled consciously. The key lies in balancing courage with humility, ambition with cooperation, and self-expression with empathy. If managed wisely, this transit can strengthen both your partnerships and your public standing. For Virgo, Mars rules your 3rd house of courage, communication, effort, siblings, and initiative, along with your 8th house of sudden events, transformation, hidden matters, shared resources, and psychological depth. When Mars changes signs, it activates both your fighting spirit and your capacity to handle crises. From February 23 to April 2, 2026, Mars transits Aquarius, your 6th house of competition, disputes, enemies, debts, health, discipline, and daily work routines. This is a powerful placement because the 6th house is an Upachaya house, where malefic planets like Mars can actually perform strongly. Strength does not mean ease. It means activity, confrontation, and challenge. The 6th house governs struggles. When Mars enters this house, life becomes more competitive. You may feel compelled to confront situations that you previously ignored. Conflicts at the workplace may surface. Rivalries can intensify. If there are pending legal matters, they may move forward during this time. There is potential for disputes or arguments, especially in professional settings. If Mars is well placed in your birth chart, you have the ability to overcome opposition and emerge victorious. This is a time when courage and persistence can defeat obstacles. Since Mars also rules your 8th house, sudden developments may arise in work or health matters. Unexpected responsibilities or crises at the workplace may demand immediate attention. You may uncover hidden issues within your professional environment. This transit can expose inefficiencies or secrets. It can push you to take decisive action in resolving complicated problems. You may feel mentally sharp and strategically strong, especially in competitive environments. Health becomes an important focus. The sixth house represents disease and healing. Mars brings energy and fighting spirit. If you face health challenges, you may have the strength to confront them proactively. Mars combined with Rahu in Aquarius increases intensity. Inflammation, stress, anxiety, or blood-related issues may require attention. Regular exercise can help channel excess energy, but overexertion should be avoided. Since this transit occurs during eclipse season, physical and mental balance must be prioritized. The conjunction with Rahu amplifies competitiveness. You may feel determined to win at any cost. While this can lead to professional breakthroughs, it can also create aggressive tendencies. Workplace politics may become intense. Avoid unnecessary confrontations. Rahu magnifies ambition, and in the sixth house it can create obsession with defeating rivals. It is important to act ethically and avoid shortcuts. The Sun joins this conjunction in the early phase. The Sun rules your 12th house of expenses, foreign lands, isolation, and subconscious patterns. When Sun, Mars, and Rahu combine in your 6th house, conflicts related to foreign dealings, hospitals, or hidden expenses may arise. You may need to resolve matters involving insurance, legal fees, or institutional processes. Ego clashes with authority figures at work are possible. Humility and diplomacy will prevent escalation. Mercury, your 1st house lord, also transits Aquarius and turns retrograde during this period. This is highly significant for Virgo individuals. Mercury represents your identity, thinking style, and communication pattern. When it retrogrades in your 6th house alongside Mars, misunderstandings at the workplace may increase. Emails, contracts, and verbal exchanges require careful handling. Mars combined with retrograde Mercury can produce sharp words spoken impulsively. Be mindful of tone, especially during disagreements. At the same time, this combination enhances analytical power. You may identify flaws in systems and fix them efficiently. Venus also joins this planetary cluster. Venus rules your 2nd and 9th houses, connecting finances, family values, higher learning, and fortune with your 6th house of service. Financial planning may require attention. Expenses related to health, travel, or education are possible. Differences in values with colleagues or subordinates may surface. Venus can soften some harshness, especially if you consciously choose diplomacy over confrontation. Mars's aspects add further layers of intensity. From Aquarius, Mars casts its 4th aspect on Taurus, your 9th house of higher wisdom and long-distance travel. Saturn is already aspecting Taurus from Pisces. This creates a Mars-Saturn dynamic involving belief systems and long-term goals. You may feel compelled to assert your philosophy strongly. Saturn demands discipline and patience. Disputes with mentors or authority figures regarding principles are possible. The 7th aspect of Mars falls on Leo, your 12th house, where Ketu is transiting. This can create restlessness and disturbed sleep. Subconscious fears may surface. Hidden enemies or behind-the-scenes conflicts may come to light. It is important to protect your mental peace and avoid overthinking. Spiritual practices and meditation can help stabilize emotions. Mars's 8th aspect falls on Virgo, your 1st house, and Saturn is also aspecting Virgo from Pisces. This double malefic influence directly impacts your physical body and personality. You may feel pressure, irritability, or impatience. Health discipline is essential. Avoid overworking yourself. At the same time, this aspect gives resilience. You may feel determined to improve yourself physically and mentally. Because this transit unfolds during eclipse season, its intensity is heightened. Eclipses often reveal hidden truths and accelerate karmic lessons. For Virgo individuals, this may be a period of clearing old debts, resolving long-standing disputes, and restructuring daily routines. You may realize that certain habits are harming your well-being and decide to change them decisively. Relationships require caution. The 6th house can create tension in marriage if conflicts are not handled maturely. If workplace stress is high, avoid carrying frustration into personal life. Clear communication is essential. Overall, this is a powerful but demanding transit for Virgo individuals. It activates competition, health, discipline, and hidden challenges. It can bring disputes, but it also gives the strength to win them. It can expose weaknesses, but it also provides the courage to correct them. If you approach this period with discipline, ethical conduct, and controlled speech, you can overcome obstacles and build resilience. This transit tests your ability to fight wisely rather than react impulsively. For Libra, Mars rules your second house of family, speech, accumulated wealth, and values, and it also rules your seventh house of marriage, partnerships, public interactions, and business alliances. Mars is not a gentle planet for Libra because it directly influences relationships and finances. From February 23 to April 2, 2026, Mars transits Aquarius, your fifth house of creativity, intelligence, romance, children, speculation, sports, and personal passions. This creates an active, expressive, and emotionally intense period. The fifth house represents your joy, your creative spark, and how you express love. When Mars enters this house, energy flows into hobbies, sports, physical activity, and personal interests. You may feel inspired to start a new fitness routine, join a competitive sport, or pursue a creative project with serious commitment. Mars gives the courage to perform and compete. It increases risk-taking tendencies, which can be positive in sports or performance-based activities. This is a time when your competitive spirit becomes visible. Mars also brings intensity into romantic life. As the ruler of your seventh house, its transit into the fifth directly connects love and partnership. If you are single, attraction can be strong and immediate. Romantic encounters may feel passionate and magnetic. If you are in a relationship, emotions may run high. Mars can create dominance tendencies. You may unconsciously try to control situations with your partner. Arguments may arise if both sides are unwilling to compromise. The way you speak, influenced by Mars ruling your second house, becomes very important. Harsh words can create unnecessary friction. This transit can also bring strong focus toward children. You may become protective or demanding regarding their education and performance. If you are a parent, you may push children to excel. While motivation is beneficial, excessive pressure may create tension. Balance encouragement with emotional sensitivity. Mars in the fifth house also influences education and intellectual pursuits. If you are a student, this is a determined period. You may study with greater focus and competitive drive. Exams and performance evaluations may demand intense preparation. Rahu's presence in Aquarius complicates matters. Mars remains conjoined with Rahu throughout this transit. Rahu amplifies desire and risk-taking. In the fifth house, it can increase speculative tendencies. You may feel tempted to invest aggressively in stock markets or high-risk ventures. Caution is advised. Rahu creates illusion and exaggeration. Gains are possible, but volatility is high. The conjunction with the Sun during the early phase adds another dimension. The Sun rules your 11th house of income, networks, and long-term ambitions. When Sun joins Mars and Rahu in your 5th house, there is strong desire for recognition in creative or romantic matters. You may want appreciation for your talents. Ego clashes can arise, especially if you feel ignored or undervalued. Professional networks may intersect with romantic life, leading to complicated dynamics. Mercury's presence and retrograde phase bring communication challenges. Mercury rules your 9th and 12th houses, connecting belief systems, travel, foreign matters, and subconscious patterns with your creative expression. During Mercury retrograde, misunderstandings and romantic conversations are possible. If you are involved in academic pursuits, review work carefully. Mars combined with retrograde Mercury can produce sharp speech. Be mindful of how you express frustration. Venus, your first house lord, also transits Aquarius during this period. This is significant because Venus represents your personality, charm, and relationship orientation. When Venus comes under the influence of Mars and Rahu in the 5th house, love life becomes a central focus. Attraction may feel intense and transformative. Creative inspiration may surge. Emotional extremes are possible. You may oscillate between deep affection and sudden irritation. Self-awareness is crucial. Mars's aspects add further layers of intensity. From Aquarius, Mars casts its 4th aspect on Taurus, your 8th house of joint finances, secrets, and sudden events. Saturn is already aspecting Taurus from Pisces. This creates a Mars-Saturn tension in shared financial matters. There may be pressure regarding loans, taxes, inheritance, or joint investments. You may feel compelled to take control of these matters, but results will require patience and structured planning. The 7th aspect of Mars falls on Leo, your 11th house, where Ketu is transiting. This brings intensity to friendships and networks. There may be detachment or misunderstandings within social circles. Some friendships may feel distant or strained. Gains may fluctuate. You may realize that certain associations no longer align with your values. Mars's 8th aspect falls on Virgo, your 12th house, and Saturn is also aspecting Virgo from Pisces. This double pressure can create stress related to expenses, foreign travel, or mental rest. Sleep patterns may be disturbed due to overthinking or emotional intensity. Avoid impulsive spending, especially during emotional highs. Since this transit occurs during eclipse season, its emotional charge increases. Eclipses often bring turning points in matters related to love, children, and creativity. For Libra individuals, this period may highlight what truly brings joy and what drains emotional energy. Some romantic stories may intensify rapidly. Others may face necessary reality checks. Health should not be ignored. Mars and Rahu together can increase stress levels. Engage in physical exercise to channel energy constructively, but avoid reckless activities. Maintain emotional balance through grounding practices. Overall, this is a passionate and dynamic transit for Libra individuals. It activates love, creativity, sports, education, and speculation. It can bring excitement, ambition, and strong emotional experiences. It can also create dominant struggles and financial volatility if not handled wisely. The key is balance. Channel your energy into disciplined effort, creative expression, and mindful communication. If you do so, this period can strengthen your confidence and deepen your understanding of what truly inspires your heart. For Scorpio, Mars is your most important planet. It rules your first house of self, body, personality, confidence, and life direction, and it also governs your 6th house of competition, enemies, health, discipline, and daily struggles. Whenever Mars changes signs, you feel it strongly, both physically and psychologically. From February 23rd to April 2nd, 2026, Mars transits Aquarius, your 4th house of home, emotional foundation, property, mother, inner peace, and domestic life. This is a deeply personal transit because it touches your emotional roots. The 4th house represents your sense of safety and belonging. When Mars enters this house, your emotional landscape becomes active and restless. You may feel a strong urge to take control of domestic matters. Repairs, renovations, relocation plans, or property discussions may come to the forefront. Mars gives initiative. If you have been postponing decisions related to real estate, this can be a decisive period to act, provided Mars is well placed in your birth chart and financial planning is stable. Mars in the 4th house can also create tension within the home. Irritability may increase. Small misunderstandings with family members can escalate quickly if not handled calmly. Your relationship with your mother or maternal figures may require patience. You may feel protective of your home environment and defensive if you sense intrusion or disrespect. The desire to safeguard your territory becomes strong. Since Mars is your 1st house lord, this transit directly affects your physical vitality and emotional stability. You may feel more reactive than usual. There is a strong instinct to defend yourself and your loved ones. If someone challenges your authority within the family or questions your decisions, you may respond sharply. Learning to pause before reacting will be important. At the same time, Mars ruling your 6th house adds another layer. Domestic stress may be connected to ongoing disputes, legal issues, or health routines. You may feel that you are constantly managing responsibilities and conflicts within your household. The 6th house also gives strength to overcome challenges. If there are property-related disputes, this period can give you the courage to confront them directly. The intensity of this transit increases significantly because Mars is conjoining Rahu in Aquarius. Rahu amplifies desire, restlessness, and unpredictability. In the 4th house, this can create sudden changes in living situations. Some Scorpio individuals may consider relocating unexpectedly. Others may feel emotionally unsettled without a clear reason. Rahu can magnify anxiety related to security and stability. It is important to avoid making impulsive property decisions without thorough research. The Sun joins this conjunction in the early phase. The Sun rules your 10th house of career and authority. When Sun, Mars, and Rahu gather in your 4th house, there can be a tug of war between professional duties and domestic responsibilities. Career pressures may spill into home life. You may bring workplace stress into your private space. Authority struggles at work can affect your emotional balance. Maintaining boundaries between professional and personal life will be essential. Mercury's presence and retrograde motion add complexity. Mercury rules your 8th and 11th houses, governing sudden events, shared finances, gains, and networks. When Mercury retrogrades in your 4th house alongside Mars, misunderstandings within the family may increase. Discussions about property, inheritance, or financial planning should be handled carefully. Review documents thoroughly before signing agreements related to home or land. Venus also joins this cluster. Venus rules your 7th and 12th houses, connecting partnerships and foreign matters to your domestic sphere. Romantic life may be affected by family dynamics. Your spouse or partner may have strong opinions about property decisions or relocation plans. Emotional intensity can rise. At the same time, Venus can bring aesthetic improvements to your home environment, inspiring you to beautify or reorganize your living space. Mars's aspects create additional pressure. From Aquarius, Mars casts its 4th aspect on Taurus, your 7th house of marriage and partnerships. Saturn is already aspecting Taurus from Pisces. This creates a clear Mars-Saturn dynamic in relationships. You may feel compelled to take control within marriage. Saturn demands patience and responsibility. Power struggles are possible if both partners insist on dominance. Cooperation is the key to maintaining harmony. The 7th aspect of Mars falls on Leo, your 10th house, where Ketu is transiting. This can create unpredictability in career matters. You may feel detached from professional recognition or uncertain about your public image. Sudden changes in authority structures are possible. Balance between home and career becomes delicate. Avoid making abrupt career decisions driven purely by emotional reactions. Mars's 8th aspect falls on Virgo, your 11th house of gains and networks. Saturn is also aspecting Virgo from Pisces. This double malefic influence can create tension within social circles. Some friendships may feel strained. Financial gains may require sustained effort rather than quick results. You may need to reassess long-term goals and eliminate associations that no longer align with your priorities. Since this transit occurs during eclipse season, its transformative power is amplified. Eclipses bring karmic turning points. For Scorpio individuals, this may represent a period of redefining what home truly means. You may confront deep emotional patterns rooted in childhood. Old family dynamics may resurface for healing. While the process may feel intense, it offers the opportunity for inner strength and maturity. Health requires attention during this period. Mars and Rahu together can increase stress and blood pressure. Emotional agitation can affect sleep quality. Engaging in physical exercise, grounding practices, and open communication can help release pent-up energy. Overall, this is a powerful and emotionally charged transit for Scorpio individuals. It activates your foundation, your home, and your sense of security. It can bring property opportunities and decisive domestic action. It can also create tension if ego and impatience dominate. The key is conscious control of your reactions. Use this period to strengthen your foundation rather than destabilize it. If handled with maturity and planning, this transit can lead to meaningful improvements in both home life and personal resilience. For Sagittarius, Mars rules your 5th house of intelligence, creativity, children, romance, speculation, and self-expression, and it also rules your 12th house of foreign lands, expenses, isolation, subconscious patterns, and spiritual withdrawal. When Mars changes signs, it activates both your passion and your hidden inner world. From February 23 to April 2, 2026, Mars transits Aquarius, your 3rd house of courage, communication, initiative, skills, siblings, media, and short-distance travel. This is a dynamic and action-oriented transit that directly energizes your willpower. The 3rd house is the house of effort. It represents how boldly you pursue your goals. When Mars enters this house, courage rises sharply. You may feel fearless, determined, and ready to take risks. There is a strong desire to act rather than wait. Plans that were pending may now move forward. You may take initiative in professional projects, creative ventures, or personal ambitions. Confidence in your abilities increases. Your communication style becomes direct and assertive. Mars does not soften words. It speaks with force. During this period, you may express yourself clearly and unapologetically. While this can be empowering, it can also appear harsh to others. It is important to balance honesty with tact. Since the third house governs writing, media, and marketing, this can be an excellent time to launch campaigns, publish content, or promote ideas, provided communication is handled responsibly. Short-distance travel is likely to increase. You may travel frequently for work, networking, or personal pursuits. These journeys may feel purposeful and productive. Because this transit occurs during eclipse season and involves Rahu, careful planning is essential. Avoid impulsive travel decisions or risky driving behavior. The presence of Rahu in Aquarius intensifies this transit significantly. Mars and Rahu together create explosive energy. In the third house, this can produce extraordinary bravery and innovation. You may feel ready to challenge competitors and take bold steps in business or creative fields. At the same time, Rahu magnifies impatience. You may push yourself too hard or engage in unnecessary conflicts with siblings, colleagues, or neighbors. Since Mars also rules your fifth house, creativity and self-expression are strongly connected to your efforts during this time. You may work passionately on artistic projects or educational pursuits. Students may feel competitive and determined to excel. Romantic communication may become intense and passionate. Ego clashes in romantic relationships are possible if you insist on being right. Mars ruling your 12th house adds another dimension. Expenses may increase due to travel, technology, or skill development. You may invest in courses, equipment, or promotional activities. Foreign connections can become active. Some Sagittarius individuals may collaborate with international contacts or expand into global platforms. Rahu's influence can create financial unpredictability. Spending should be monitored carefully. The Sun joins Mars and Rahu in the early phase. The Sun rules your 9th house of higher wisdom, father figures, belief systems, and long-distance travel. When Sun combines with Mars in the 3rd house, your ideas become strongly influenced by your philosophy and principles. You may defend your beliefs boldly. Debates with mentors or authority figures are possible if ideological differences arise. Pride in your knowledge may increase. Maintain humility to avoid unnecessary friction. Mercury's presence and retrograde phase add complexity. Mercury rules your 7th and 10th houses, governing marriage, partnerships, career, and public image. During Mercury retrograde in your 3rd house, misunderstandings in communication are likely. Business negotiations and agreements require careful review. Mars combined with retrograde Mercury can produce sharp arguments with partners or colleagues. Avoid reacting impulsively in professional discussions. Venus also joins this cluster. Venus rules your 6th and 11th houses, connecting competition, gains, and social networks to your communication sector. Networking becomes active. You may interact with new groups or online communities. Attraction may develop through social platforms. Conflicts within friend circles are possible if opinions clash. Gains through marketing or communication-based work are possible, but they require sustained effort. Mars's aspects create additional tension. From Aquarius, Mars casts its 4th aspect on Taurus, your 6th house of disputes, health, and competition. Saturn is already aspecting Taurus from Pisces. This creates a Mars-Saturn dynamic in workplace conflicts. You may feel compelled to take control in competitive environments. Legal matters may move forward. While you have the strength to win disputes, patience and discipline are essential. The 7th aspect of Mars falls on Leo, your 9th house, where Ketu is transiting. This can create ideological restlessness. You may question traditional belief systems or feel detached from mentors. Long-distance travel plans may experience sudden changes. Avoid rigid thinking. Flexibility will help maintain harmony. Mars's 8th aspect falls on Virgo, your 10th house, and Saturn is also aspecting Virgo from Pisces. This double malefic influence directly impacts career matters. Workplace pressure may intensify. You may feel driven to prove yourself. Authority struggles are possible if communication becomes too forceful. This combination can also give strong determination to overcome professional challenges. Since this transit unfolds during eclipse season, its karmic intensity increases. Eclipses often bring turning points in communication and relationships. For Sagittarius individuals, this may mark a period of redefining how you express yourself. You may realize that certain patterns of speech or behavior no longer serve your growth. Health must not be ignored. Mars and Rahu together can increase stress levels and impatience. Engage in disciplined physical activity to channel excess energy. Avoid reckless behavior during travel. Overall, this is a courageous and highly active transit for Sagittarius individuals. It energizes your willpower, communication, and initiative. It can bring bold opportunities in creative, media, or entrepreneurial pursuits. It can also create conflicts if ego and impatience dominate. The key is conscious action. Speak clearly but respectfully. Act boldly but thoughtfully. If you channel this powerful energy into disciplined effort, this period can strengthen your confidence and expand your reach. For Capricorn, Mars rules your 4th house of home, property, mother, emotional security, and inner peace, as well as your 11th house of gains, income, ambitions, and social networks. Mars is not considered a gentle planet for Capricorn, yet it carries the power to activate both your foundation and your aspirations. From February 23 to April 2, 2026, Mars transits Aquarius, your 2nd house of family, accumulated wealth, speech, food habits, and core values. This is a significant shift because the 2nd house directly influences financial stability and family harmony. When Mars enters the 2nd house, attention naturally moves toward money matters and family responsibilities. You may feel a strong urge to take control of financial planning. This can be a time of reviewing savings, restructuring investments, or taking bold decisions to increase income. Since Mars also rules your 11th house, this transit directly links earnings and gains with your accumulated wealth. Income opportunities may arise through networking or social connections. Mars brings urgency. You may want quick financial progress, and that impatience can create volatility if not managed wisely. The 2nd house also governs speech. Mars here can make your words sharp and direct. You may speak confidently, but sometimes harshly. If emotions are running high, tone can become confrontational. This may create tension within the family environment. As the ruler of your 4th house, Mars connects domestic matters to finances and speech. Discussions about property, household expenses, or family assets may become intense. You may feel protective toward your loved ones and determined to defend family interests. Overprotectiveness can turn into dominance if not handled consciously. Expenses are also possible during this period. Mars ruling the 4th house can indicate spending on home improvements, repairs, or relocation plans. You may invest in property or household upgrades. If Mars is well placed in your birth chart, this can be a productive time to initiate real estate discussions or financial restructuring. If Mars is afflicted, impulsive spending or arguments about money may create stress. The intensity increases because Mars is conjoining Rahu in Aquarius throughout this transit. Rahu amplifies desire and unpredictability. In the 2nd house, this can create fluctuations in financial flow. Sudden gains are possible, especially through unconventional or technology-based ventures. At the same time, unexpected expenses may arise. Rahu can create a sense of urgency about wealth accumulation, pushing you to take risks. Careful evaluation of financial decisions is essential during this time. The Sun joins this conjunction in the early phase. The Sun rules your 8th house of shared resources, inheritance, sudden events, and transformation. When Sun, Mars, and Rahu combine in your 2nd house, financial matters linked to joint assets, insurance, taxes, or family inheritance may come into focus. Ego clashes within the family are possible if transparency is lacking. Authority issues related to shared finances may surface. Maintaining honesty and patience will help avoid unnecessary disputes. Mercury's presence and retrograde motion add another layer. Mercury rules your 6th and 9th houses, connecting disputes, health routines, higher wisdom, and long-distance travel with your wealth and speech sector. During Mercury retrograde, financial documents and agreements must be reviewed carefully. Miscommunication regarding money is possible. Since Mars and Mercury are not naturally harmonious, words spoken impulsively may create long-lasting misunderstandings. Venus also joins this planetary cluster. Venus rules your 5th and 10th houses, linking creativity, children, career, and reputation to your financial matters. You may feel motivated to spend on children's education or creative pursuits. Career ambitions may drive financial decisions. Emotional impulses must not dictate investments. Balancing practicality with desire will be important. Mars's aspects create additional pressure points. From Aquarius, Mars casts its 4th aspect on Taurus, your 5th house of creativity, children, and speculation. Saturn is already aspecting Taurus from Pisces. This creates a Mars-Saturn dynamic in matters related to children or speculative investments. You may feel compelled to control or guide children more strictly. If involved in stock markets or speculative ventures, patience and structured planning are required. Quick gains are unlikely without disciplined effort. The 7th aspect of Mars falls on Leo, your 8th house, where Ketu is transiting. This increases volatility in shared finances and emotional intimacy. There may be detachment or sudden developments in joint resources. Be cautious in financial dealings involving partners or extended family. Transparency and documentation are essential. Mars's 8th aspect falls on Virgo, your 9th house, and Saturn is also aspecting Virgo from Pisces. This double malefic influence can create ideological tension. You may become rigid in your beliefs regarding financial ethics or family traditions. Conflicts with father figures or mentors are possible if values clash. Long-distance travel plans may require careful organization. Since this transit unfolds during eclipse season, its karmic intensity is heightened. Eclipses often bring clarity through disruption. For Capricorn individuals, this may represent a turning point in how you handle wealth and family responsibilities. You may realize the importance of long-term stability over short-term gains. Some family dynamics may shift, forcing honest conversations. Health must also be considered. The 2nd house relates to food habits and throat region. Mars and Rahu together can lead to irregular eating patterns or inflammatory issues. Maintaining discipline in diet and routine will support overall well-being. Overall, this is a financially and emotionally significant transit for Capricorn individuals. It activates wealth, family values, speech, and domestic responsibilities. It can bring opportunities to strengthen financial foundations and protect family interests. It can also create tension if ego and impatience dominate. The key lies in controlled communication, disciplined budgeting, and matured decision-making. If handled wisely, this period can help you build stronger financial security while reinforcing your role as a responsible and protective family member. For Aquarius, this is a highly major and highly personal transit because Mars enters your 1st house from February 23 to April 2, 2026. Mars rules your 3rd house of courage, initiative, communication, skills, and effort, as well as your 10th house of career, authority, and public image. When the ruler of action and ambition moves into your 1st house, it energizes your entire personality. You feel it physically, mentally, and professionally. This is not a background transit. It is visible, direct, and powerful. The 1st house represents your body, identity, confidence, and the way you approach life. When Mars transits here, energy levels rise sharply. You may feel restless, motivated, and ready to take charge of situations that you previously tolerated. There is a natural urge to move, exercise, and strengthen the body. Even those who have been physically inactive may suddenly feel the desire to join a gym, start jogging, or take up a sport. Mars brings physical awareness. You may become more conscious of posture, stamina, and overall fitness. At the same time, Mars can push you to extremes. Overexertion, impulsive physical activity, or ignoring signs of fatigue can lead to minor injuries or inflammation. It is important to channel this energy constructively without crossing safe limits. Structured workouts and disciplined routines are far more beneficial than aggressive bursts of effort. Since Mars also rules your 10th house, this transit directly links your identity with career ambitions. You may feel strongly motivated to assert yourself professionally. Leadership qualities become more visible. You may take bold decisions, initiate new projects, or challenge authority structures that no longer align with your vision. Others may see you as decisive and strong-willed. Impatience can create friction with superiors or colleagues if not managed carefully. Mars ruling your 3rd house adds another layer. Communication becomes direct and sometimes blunt. You may speak with conviction and intensity. Confidence in expressing ideas increases, but sensitivity to others' reactions may decrease. This is a time when you prefer action over discussion. Short-distance travel may increase due to work or personal initiatives. Sibling relationships may become more active, either through collaboration or debate. The intensity of this transit increases significantly because Mars is conjoining Rahu in your 1st house. Rahu amplifies desire and magnifies personality traits. In the 1st house, this can make you appear bold, unconventional, and highly ambitious. You may feel that this is your moment to redefine yourself. There can be a strong desire to stand out, break patterns, or change personal style. Rahu also brings unpredictability. Mood swings, impulsive reactions, and sudden decisions are possible. Since this transit unfolds during eclipse season, its karmic charge is amplified. Eclipses often bring identity shifts for Aquarius individuals when occurring in their first house. You may realize that certain behaviors no longer reflect who you want to become. This period can mark the beginning of a personal transformation, but it requires awareness. Acting from ego rather than clarity can create unnecessary conflict. The Sun joins Mars and Rahu in the early phase. The Sun rules your 7th house of marriage and partnerships. When Sun enters your first house alongside Mars, there can be ego clashes within relationships. You may appear dominant or self-focused. Your spouse or partner may feel that you are prioritizing your own goals over shared plans. Public image becomes more important to you. Balancing self-assertion with cooperation is essential. Mercury's presence and retrograde motion further intensify this transit. Mercury rules your 5th and 8th houses, governing creativity, children, speculation, and sudden changes. When Mercury retrogrades in your first house with Mars, miscommunication becomes likely. Words spoken impulsively can create misunderstandings in romantic or family matters. At the same time, this combination enhances strategic thinking and research ability. You may rethink personal goals and refine your direction. Venus also joins this planetary cluster. Venus rules your 4th and 9th houses, connecting home, emotional peace, higher wisdom, and long-distance travel to your identity. During this period, your personal charm may increase, but emotional sensitivity may also rise. Relationships with family and mentors may feel intense. You may desire appreciation and validation. Impatience can disturb harmony. Mars's aspects create additional challenges. From Aquarius, Mars casts its 4th aspect on Taurus, your 4th house of home and emotional foundation. Saturn is already aspecting Taurus from Pisces. This creates a Mars-Saturn tension within domestic life. You may feel compelled to take control of household matters. Progress may require sustained effort and patience. Conflicts with family members are possible if both sides insist on dominance. The 7th aspect of Mars falls on Leo, your 7th house, where Ketu is transiting. This intensifies relationship dynamics. Ketu brings detachment, while Mars brings confrontation. There may be misunderstandings in marriage or business partnerships. You may feel emotionally distant yet reactive at the same time. Avoid unnecessary arguments and practice active listening. Mars's 8th aspect falls on Virgo, your 8th house, and Saturn is also aspecting Virgo from Pisces. This double malefic influence can create stress regarding shared finances, inheritance matters, or psychological pressure. Sudden events may require calm handling. Avoid impulsive financial decisions. Health requires special attention. The 1st house governs physical vitality. Mars and Rahu together can increase heat in the body, leading to inflammation, headaches, or stress-related symptoms. Regular exercise, hydration, and controlled routines will help stabilize energy. Overall, this is a powerful and transformative transit for Aquarius individuals. It energizes your personality, strengthens ambition, and increases physical drive. It can bring bold career moves, personal reinvention, and renewed confidence. It can also create ego clashes and impulsive behavior if awareness is lacking. The key is conscious action. Use this surge of energy to build strength, refine goals, and move forward with discipline rather than aggression. If managed wisely, this period can mark the beginning of a stronger and more decisive version of yourself. For Pisces, Mars rules your 2nd house of wealth, family values, speech, and accumulated resources, along with your 9th house of fortune, higher wisdom, father figures, belief systems, and long-distance travel. Mars carries both material and spiritual significance for you. From February 23 to April 2, 2026, Mars transits Aquarius, your 12th house of foreign lands, expenses, isolation, subconscious patterns, spiritual retreat, and hidden matters. This is a deeply introspective and karmically sensitive transit. The 12th house represents endings, release, and withdrawal from outer noise. When Mars enters this house, your energy begins to turn inward. You may feel less inclined toward public action and more drawn towards solitude or private planning. Mars is not naturally comfortable in hidden spaces. It wants action and visibility. In the 12th house, this can create restlessness or scattered efforts. You may feel that your energy is being spent behind the scenes rather than in visible achievements. Since Mars rules your 9th house, foreign travel becomes a strong possibility. Some Pisces individuals may travel abroad for work, study, pilgrimage, or family matters. Long-distance journeys may feel purposeful and transformative. There can also be involvement with foreign clients or international organizations. If you have been planning relocation or immigration processes, this transit may push those matters forward, although careful documentation is necessary. At the same time, Mars ruling your 2nd house brings financial themes into the 12th house of expenses. Spending may increase. You may invest in travel, education, spiritual pursuits, or medical matters. Rahu's conjunction with Mars intensifies this tendency. There can be impulsive purchases or financial decisions made under emotional pressure. While some expenses may be meaningful, uncontrolled spending can disturb savings. Financial discipline is essential during this period. The 12th house also governs hospitals, institutions, and legal confinement. If Mars is weak or afflicted in your birth chart, health matters require attention. Stress, inflammation, sleep disturbances, or immune sensitivity may surface. Mars combined with Rahu can increase anxiety or restlessness. Maintaining proper rest and mental balance is important. Avoid unnecessary legal risks or confrontational behavior, especially in foreign or unfamiliar environments. Mars in the 12th house can also create escapist tendencies. You may feel the urge to withdraw from responsibilities or avoid difficult conversations. It is important to distinguish between healthy retreat and avoidance. Spiritual practices such as meditation, yoga, or pilgrimage can be highly beneficial now. This transit favors deep introspection and releasing emotional baggage. The presence of Rahu in Aquarius throughout this transit amplifies hidden desires. You may uncover subconscious ambitions or unresolved fears. Rahu can create sudden expenses or secret plans. It can also inspire unconventional spiritual exploration. Some Pisces individuals may feel drawn toward mystical subjects, research, or humanitarian service. The Sun joins Mars in the early phase. The Sun rules your 6th house of competition, disputes, health routines, and service. When Sun, Mars, and Rahu gather in your 12th house, conflicts may arise in hidden ways. Workplace politics or behind-the-scenes tension may affect you. There can be ego clashes that are not openly expressed but felt internally. It is important to avoid secret enemies and focus on transparent communication. Mercury's presence and retrograde motion further complicate matters. Mercury rules your 4th and 7th houses, connecting home, marriage, partnerships, and emotional security to your 12th house. During Mercury retrograde, misunderstandings in relationships are possible. You may feel emotionally withdrawn or misinterpreted by your partner. Conversations about relocation or foreign travel may require careful review. Avoid making major contractual decisions without thorough verification. Venus also joins this planetary cluster. Venus rules your 3rd and 8th houses, linking communication, siblings, sudden events, and shared resources to your 12th house. Romantic relationships may feel secretive or distant. There may be attraction towards someone from a foreign background. Emotional clarity may be lacking. Joint finances must be handled cautiously. Mars's aspects activate additional sensitive areas. From Aquarius, Mars casts its 4th aspect on Taurus, your 3rd house of courage and communication. Saturn is already aspecting Taurus from Pisces. This creates a Mars-Saturn dynamic affecting your speech and interactions with siblings. You may feel compelled to assert your ideas strongly, but progress will require patience. Short-distance travel may involve delays or responsibilities. The 7th aspect of Mars falls on Leo, your 6th house, where Ketu is transiting. This increases unpredictability in workplace disputes. Hidden enemies may surface. Health routines must be consistent. Avoid unnecessary confrontations. Service-oriented work may demand extra effort. Mars's 8th aspect falls on Virgo, your 7th house of marriage and partnerships. Saturn is also aspecting Virgo from Pisces. This double malefic influence can create tension in relationships. Your partner may feel that you are emotionally distant or preoccupied. Conflicts may arise over finances, travel plans, or long-term direction. Open communication is essential to prevent misunderstandings. Since this transit occurs during eclipse season, its karmic intensity is heightened. Eclipses often bring endings and revelations. For Pisces individuals, this may be a period of releasing old patterns, debts, or emotional attachments. You may realize that certain habits or relationships no longer support your growth. Health must be prioritized. The 12th house relates to sleep and subconscious stress. Practice regular rest cycles. Engage in grounding activities. Avoid escapism through unhealthy habits. Overall, this is a spiritually charged and introspective transit for Pisces individuals. It can bring foreign connections, deep reflection, and opportunities for inner transformation. It can also increase expenses and emotional sensitivity. The key is conscious discipline. Use this period for healing, spiritual growth, and thoughtful planning rather than impulsive action. If handled wisely, this transit can help you release old burdens and prepare for a stronger new beginning once Mars moves forward. As we conclude this episode, please keep in mind that these insights are based on the Sidereal Zodiac system used in Vedic astrology, which differs from the tropical system by approximately 24 degrees. These are general predictions. The real impact depends on your dasha cycles and your individual birth chart. For a personalized analysis or consultation, feel free to reach out. If you found this video valuable, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And now, you can also hype this video to boost it within the community. Your support helps this knowledge reach more people who may benefit. Thank you for watching. Stay aware, keep learning, and keep shining bright.